What is the nature of knowledge, and how do we come to know what we know? This question has puzzled thinkers for millennia, and one man who dared to explore it was the ancient Greek philosopher Socrates. Born in Athens around 470 BC, Socrates became a profound figure in the field of philosophy, leaving an indelible imprint on human thought. His teachings, though never written down by him, were passed down through the works of his disciples, most notably Plato. Socrates' emphasis on self-examination, ethical conduct, and the pursuit of knowledge has shaped philosophical discourse and continues to resonate in our modern world. His words, rich in wisdom and insight, invite us to reflect, question, and grow. So are you ready for a journey into the heart of Socratic thought? Join us as we delve into the wisdom of Socrates, a man whose ideas continue to shape the world thousands of years after his death. Our first quote is "Know thyself," a simple phrase, yet it carries profound implications. It's a call to self-awareness, a challenge to look inward, to understand ourselves at the deepest levels possible. It urges us to peel away the layers of external influences, to face our fears, our desires, our strengths, and our weaknesses. It's a journey inward, a voyage to the very core of our being. But why is this self-understanding so important? Well, it's the cornerstone of personal growth. It's the compass that guides our decisions, our actions, and shapes our destiny. It helps us to understand our motivations, our passions, our values. It's the tool that enables us to navigate the complexities of life, to make choices that align with our authentic selves, to live a life that is true to who we are. And in today's world, a world brimming with distractions, with noise, with relentless pressures to conform, this call to know thyself is more important than ever. It's the antidote to the chaos, the beacon that can guide us through the fog of external influences. It's the key to living a life of authenticity, of purpose, and of fulfillment. So let's heed the wisdom of Socrates. Let's embark on that journey inward. Let's strive to understand ourselves, to face our truths, to embrace our individuality. Because in the end, the greatest adventure we can embark on, the most profound discovery we can make, is the discovery of ourselves. In today's world filled with distractions, knowing oneself is more important than ever. Next, we consider the quote, "An unexamined life is not worth living." A bold statement, isn't it? But what does it truly mean? Let's delve deeper. At its core, this quote underscores the profound importance of introspection and self-reflection. In Socrates' view, a life lived without self-examination, without questioning one's beliefs, values, and actions, is devoid of real substance or value. It's akin to sailing a ship without a compass. You're moving, but are you really going anywhere meaningful? In our modern, fast-paced world, it's easy to get caught up in the hustle and bustle of everyday life. We're often so busy doing that we forget about being. We forget to pause, to reflect, to examine our lives. But Socrates urges us to resist this temptation. The act of self-examination is not merely an exercise in thought, it's a journey into the very core of our being. It's about understanding who we are, what we stand for, and why we do the things we do. It's about questioning our beliefs, challenging our assumptions, and continually striving to better ourselves. To examine our lives is to engage fully with our existence. It's to live deliberately, consciously, and authentically. It's to ensure that our actions align with our values, that our lives have purpose, meaning, and depth. In our fast-paced world, taking the time to reflect on our actions is key to a fulfilling life. So let us take a moment, pause and reflect. Remember, as Socrates said, an unexamined life is not worth living. Now we examine the quote, "The only true wisdom is in knowing you know nothing." This profound statement, attributed to Socrates, is a stark reminder of the humility required in the pursuit of knowledge and wisdom. It's an invitation to surrender any pretense of omniscience and embrace the reality of our limited understanding. Consider the vastness of the universe, the complexity of human consciousness, the infinite intricacies of nature, and the depth of the human spirit. These are vast arenas of knowledge, and yet what we know barely scratches the surface. Recognizing our own ignorance in the face of such boundless mystery is not a sign of weakness, but a mark of wisdom. This quote encourages a mindset of continuous learning. It's a call to remain open, curious and receptive, to question, to explore, to seek. It reminds us that every moment presents an opportunity to learn something new, to shift our perspective, to deepen our understanding. In a world overflowing with information, it's easy to fall into the trap of believing we know more than we actually do. But true wisdom lies not in the accumulation of facts and figures, but in the acknowledgement of our own ignorance. It's about understanding that the more we learn, the more we realize how much there is yet to know. In an era of information overload, recognizing our own ignorance can lead to true wisdom. Our next quote is, "He who commits injustice is ever made more wretched than he who suffers it." This profound statement by Socrates delves into the heart of ethical conduct and the consequences of our actions. When we commit an injustice, we might initially believe we've gained an advantage. However, Socrates argues that the perpetrator of injustice is in fact made more wretched than the victim. The reason for this is twofold. Firstly, the person committing the injustice has to live with the knowledge of their wrongdoing. This knowledge can lead to feelings of guilt, shame and regret, which can gnaw at one's peace of mind. Secondly, the wrongdoer may also live in constant fear of retribution or exposure, leading to a life filled with anxiety and paranoia. In contrast, the person who suffers the injustice, despite experiencing pain and hardship, retains their integrity. They remain true to their values and uphold their dignity, even in the face of adversity. They can find solace in their virtue, and often society sympathizes and stands with the victim, providing emotional and sometimes practical support. Socrates' wisdom in this quote is a timeless reminder that our actions have consequences, and that unethical behavior ultimately leads to personal suffering. It emphasizes the importance of treating others justly and fairly. It is a call to each of us to uphold morality in our actions, to choose integrity over short-term gains. Even in our modern world, the truth of this statement holds, reminding us of the importance of justice and morality. Next, we consider the quote, "Wisdom begins in wonder." A profound proclamation by Socrates, this timeless adage speaks volumes about the genesis of wisdom. Wisdom, as Socrates suggests, does not spring from the accumulation of facts, figures, or even experiences. It begins with a spark, a question, with wonder. In the vast expanse of the universe, we find ourselves awestruck by the mysteries that surround us. This sense of wonder, this curiosity, is our first step on the path to wisdom. It's the catalyst that propels us to explore, to question, and to seek answers. It's the driving force behind our intellectual explorations and groundbreaking innovations. In the realm of knowledge, curiosity is not just welcomed, it's vital. It pushes us beyond the boundaries of the known, encouraging us to venture into the uncharted territories of the unknown. It's the compass that guides us through the labyrinth of life, leading us towards wisdom. In our contemporary society, where innovation and creativity are highly prized, this quote holds a special significance. It reminds us that our capacity to wonder, to question, to be curious is not just a trait to be appreciated, but a virtue to be cultivated. So let us not stifle our curiosity. Let us not suppress our wonder. Instead, let us embrace these sentiments, for they are the seeds from which wisdom sprouts. In a world that values creativity, this quote reminds us that our first step towards wisdom is curiosity. Our next quote is, "To find yourself, think for yourself." In a world where conformity often overrules uniqueness, Socrates' timeless wisdom rings with profound truth. He urges us to embrace independent thinking, to break free from the shackles of conventional wisdom, and to embark on a journey of self-discovery. This is not a call to selfishness or arrogance, but rather a challenge to exercise our intellectual autonomy. This is not a call to selfishness or arrogance, but rather a challenge to exercise our intellectual autonomy. When we think for ourselves, we aren't merely accepting the beliefs, opinions, or values that are handed down to us or that society imposes on us. Instead, we're taking the time to question, to analyze, to form our own opinions. In doing so, we're engaging in a process of self-discovery, of finding out who we truly are beyond the layers of external influence. Thinking for ourselves doesn't mean rejecting the wisdom of others or dismissing the value of shared knowledge. It means using these as a starting point, a springboard from which to dive deeper into our own understanding. It means using these as a starting point, a springboard from which to dive deeper into our own understanding. It means not being afraid to challenge prevailing ideas, to question established norms, to seek out our own truth. And in this process of independent thinking, we find our authentic selves. We discover our true values, our deepest beliefs, our unique perspectives. We discover our true values, our deepest beliefs, our unique perspectives. We become not just passive recipients of knowledge, but active creators of our own wisdom. In an age of external influence, Socrates' words remind us of the power of thinking for ourselves. Now we examine the quote, "It is not living that matters, but living rightly." This powerful statement, ascribed to the ancient philosopher Socrates, underscores the significant role ethics play in our lives. Living isn't merely about existing and going through the motions of life. It's about living rightly, making choices that reflect our values, our principles, and our moral compass. It's about treating others with respect, standing up for what's right, and taking responsibility for our actions. In a world that often prioritizes speed, efficiency, and results, it's easy to lose sight of the importance of the means over the ends. But Socrates implores us to pause, to consider the weight of our actions, and to strive to live rightly. Living rightly also means living authentically, honoring our commitments, and being true to our word. It's about fairness and justice, about doing our part to contribute to a better world. And let's not forget the role of empathy in living rightly. It's about understanding and acknowledging the feelings of others, about being kind and compassionate. It's about recognizing that we're all interconnected and that our actions can have a profound impact on others. Living rightly is a continuous endeavor, a journey rather than a destination. It's a commitment to lifelong learning, to self-improvement, and to striving to be the best version of ourselves. In our complex world, these words serve as a guide for ethical decision-making. Our next quote is, "Regard your good name as the richest jewel you can possibly be possessed of." The wisdom of Socrates is timeless as he urges us to consider the value of our reputations. In a world where every action, every word, every tweet can be scrutinized, shared, and judged, the importance of maintaining a good name is more relevant than ever. Our character, our integrity, these are the foundations upon which our reputations are built. In the age of digital footprints and social media profiles, it's easy to forget that our reputations extend far beyond the screens of our devices. Our reputations are a reflection of who we truly are, not just who we appear to be online. They are shaped by our actions, our decisions, our mistakes, and our triumphs. They are the culmination of a lifetime of choices, both big and small. Reputation management is more than just a buzzword in the corporate world. It applies to every individual, every day. The decisions we make, the actions we take, they all contribute to the narrative of who we are. And once a reputation is tarnished, it can be incredibly difficult to restore. So, let us heed the wisdom of Socrates. Let us strive to be individuals of character, of integrity. Let us regard our good names as the richest jewel we can possibly possess. For in the grand scheme of life, it is our reputations that will leave a lasting legacy. Socrates reminds us that maintaining a good name is an enduring virtue. Next, we consider the quote, "Be kind, for everyone you meet is fighting a hard battle." Socrates, with his profound wisdom, beckons us to a basic human virtue, kindness. In our daily lives, we cross paths with countless individuals, each with their own stories, their own struggles. Behind every smile, every seemingly tranquil facade, there might be a tempest, a battle being fought. Socrates invites us to recognize these hidden battles, these silent struggles. He encourages us to approach each interaction with empathy, with understanding, with kindness. In a world where we are often quick to judge, quick to react, Socrates' words serve as a gentle reminder to pause, to reflect. He calls for us to replace judgment with empathy, indifference with kindness. Kindness, he implies, is not merely an act, it's a lens through which we view others. It's an understanding that we are all on this journey called life together, each with our own hurdles to overcome. This timeless wisdom holds a mirror to our interactions, urging us to infuse them with compassion. It's a call to action, to be kinder, to be more understanding, to acknowledge that everyone we meet might be fighting a battle we know nothing about. In the grand tapestry of life, each thread, each individual matters, and each deserves kindness. So as we navigate through our lives, let's carry this wisdom with us. Let's strive to be kind, to understand, to empathize. For as Socrates wisely said, everyone we meet is fighting a hard battle. Even today, these words remind us of the power of compassion. Our final quote is, "Education is the kindling of a flame, not the filling of a vessel." In the grand tapestry of Socratic wisdom, this metaphor stands out, challenging our conventional understanding of education. From the ancient halls of the Athenian agora to the digital classrooms of today, Socrates' words echo, urging us to reframe education as an enlightening journey, not a mere accumulation of facts. Consider the image of a vessel filled to the brim, static and unchanging. This is education viewed as the mere transfer of information, a passive process where knowledge is poured into learners. But Socrates, always the provocateur, challenges this notion. Education, he argues, should be like kindling a flame. It's not about stuffing minds with data, but sparking curiosity, igniting passion. A flame, once kindled, can grow, spread, and transform everything it touches. Similarly, true education inspires the learner, igniting a thirst for knowledge that fuels a lifetime of exploration. In our rapidly evolving world, where information is at our fingertips, this perspective is more relevant than ever. Rote learning, memorizing facts without understanding, is insufficient. It's the curiosity, the questioning, the intellectual passion that makes the difference. So let's heed Socrates' wisdom. Let's strive not to fill our minds with information, but to kindle the flame of curiosity. Let's foster an environment that encourages questions, nurtures critical thinking, and values the pursuit of understanding over the mere accumulation of facts. In our modern context, these words challenge us to spark intellectual passion and lifelong learning. As we come to the end of our journey through Socrates' wisdom, we find ourselves enriched with timeless ideas. We've explored the profound depths of self-awareness with Know Thyself, and the value of introspection in An Unexamined Life is Not Worth Living. We've embraced humility and continuous learning in The Only True Wisdom is in Knowing You Know Nothing, and acknowledged the consequences of injustice. We've discovered that wisdom begins in wonder, and the importance of independent thinking in To Find Yourself, Think for Yourself. We've learned that quality of life is determined by our moral choices, and the significance of reputation in Regard your good name as the richest jewel you can possibly be possessed of. We've been reminded of the power of kindness and the dynamic, curiosity-driven approach to education. In education is the kindling of a flame, not the filling of a vessel. May Socrates' wisdom guide us as we navigate the complexities of our ever-evolving world. Yet our journey does not end here. We are committed to providing you with content that will inspire and challenge you, helping you see the world from a fresh perspective. Just as Socrates' wisdom has enlightened us today, we promise to continue to delve into the minds of great thinkers, explore profound philosophies, and unravel the mysteries of life. We hope to kindle not just your interest, but also your curiosity, and awaken the philosopher within you. So continue to join us on this enlightening journey, as we strive to understand our world better, one idea at a time. Remember, the journey of wisdom is never ending, and every step you take is a new discovery. So let's keep discovering together.